Hey, what is going on, guys? Good morning. Thank you for tuning into Rules for Rebels. In today's video, we're going to be talking about you got that right, 5 positive cryptocurrency current events during this time of uncertainty. So I know it's been a rough day, a rough week, and a rough month for crypto. Everything's down. There's really no safe haven besides maybe Tether, which who even knows if that's safe. But it seems like day after day after day, we get more bad news. First, Capital One shuts down credit card purchases, then Bank of America, then Chase, then India's supposedly banning cryptocurrency. They're not really banning cryptocurrency, but it seems like one day after the next, we get negative news. And I think a lot of times this negative news kind of overshadows a lot of the positive things going on in the cryptocurrency space. So that's really what I wanted to kind of cover today. Get some of this negative news, get some of this FUD out of your head, and focus on some positive things going on in the cryptocurrency space. And there is a lot of positive stuff going on right now. There's a lot of positive things on the horizon. I tried to keep this stuff a little bit more vague, a little bit more general, as opposed to like certain coins, but there's a ton of stuff going on. Navcoin has the new NavPay wallet out, which is absolutely amazing. Navtech Polymorph is going to be coming soon, which is going to be anonymous crypto to crypto to crypto payments. We have the Lightning network rolling out. We have Bittrex is going to be accepting fiat. Lisk is going to be going through a rebranding and rolling out their SDK. Raiblocks just got added to Binance. Steam just got added to Binance. Nav got added to Binance recently. So there's a lot of positive things going on right now. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So one of these positive things is Coinbase is going to be adding Segwit. So here on the left here, you can see a text message, a tweet from Coinbase. Our engineering team has begun the final testing phase of Segwit for Bitcoin on Coinbase. Segwit compatible Bitcoin sends/receives will be available for customers in the next few weeks. We previously wrote a blog about Segwit on our blog. So, if you guys check out Coinbase on Twitter, this is one of their recent tweets within the past day or two. This was on February 5th at 5:30. If you want to read about Segwit on Coinbase, you can click that link there. But essentially, the bullet points, it's going to mean faster and cheaper transactions. A lot of you guys, hopefully most of you guys, are using Segwit-compatible wallets. The Trezor is Segwit-compatible. I believe the Ledger is as well. I don't personally use it, but I believe it is. And a lot of other wallets are now Segwit-compatible. So that's going to mean cheaper transactions for you and faster transactions. This really shouldn't have taken so long for Coinbase to do. And as kind of a positive thing, this is somewhat surprising, as Coinbase had initially said that Segwit wasn't a high priority. They said it wasn't something that most of their customers were asking for. The CEO of Coinbase did a great interview. I think it was on CNN or CNBC, kind of about Coinbase, about the customer service problems they're facing, about the kind of bad reputation for customer service they have. And in that interview, she was the woman who was interviewing him asked him, like, in 2018, what are some changes you guys see coming? And he said kind of the number one priority was going to be adding new coins. And when she asked about Segwit, which, if you're on Reddit, if you're in the crypto community, a lot of people want Segwit transactions. Coinbase is already expensive as it is. At least, cut people a break and start using Segwit to lower transaction fees. But the Brian, whatever his name is, the CEO of Coinbase, had kind of said like, oh, well, most of our customers don't really care about Segwit. The main thing we're being asked about is adding new coins. So, Coinbase didn't seem to be making this a priority. So it's actually really exciting that this is happening. This is kind of a vague announcement. We don't know how soon we'll be seeing it, but I think it's a positive thing they have tweeted this out. Segwit adoption is growing. I believe it's over 20% now. So it still has a long way to go. But Segwit as a whole is going to make the Bitcoin network less congested. It's going to make transactions cheaper. It's going to make transactions faster. And while Bitcoin may never be what it was in the early days, it doesn't have to be this unusable, expensive behemoth of a coin. So super positive news right there. Then we're going to be talking about the SEC meeting. So I'm a little bit confused on this whole thing. There was supposed to be a meeting today with the SEC, the CFTC, and Congress. And they were going to be discussing exclusively cryptocurrencies. Now, there are actually 2 meetings going on. I've heard one got pushed back to Valentine's Day, but there is still going to be another one. I think some of the testimony from this meeting has already been put out. And here's something that I saw posted online, and this is kind of a summary of, I forget the gentleman's name, but this is kind of a summary of one of the testimonies. So the conclusion: through the years, Technological innovations have improved our markets, including through increased competition, lower barriers to entry, and decreased costs for market participants. Distributed ledger and other emerging technologies have the potential to further influence and improve capital markets and the financial services industry. Businesses, especially smaller businesses without efficient access to traditional capital markets, can be aided by financial technology in raising capital to establish and finance their operations, thereby allowing them to be more competitive both domestically and globally. So that sounds positive, right? It kind of sounds like we're embracing cryptocurrencies and technologies. And I know the SEC is going to take a hard stance on ICOs, but in a sense here, it almost reads as if they're saying ICOs offer an easier way for small businesses to be funded, as we're seeing already. So, who knows if they'll really clamp down on the whole accredited investor thing. But a lot of this stuff is seeming either positive, or at the very least, they're not banning crypto. And these technological innovations can provide investors with new opportunities to support and capital to novel concepts and ideas. History, both in the United States and abroad, has proven that time and time again, these opportunities flourish best when pursued in harmony with our federal securities laws. So that's a little bit, like, oh, we really want innovation as long as it's, within this strict set of rules that we set. These laws reflect our tripartite mission to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation. Being faithful to each part of our mission is not in isolation, but collectively has served us well. Said simply, we should embrace the pursuit of technological advancement, as well as new and proven approach to protecting investors and markets. Thank you for the opportunity to testify before you today and for your support of the Commission and its workforce. I stand ready to work with Congress on these issues and look forward to answering your questions. Conclusion second, Doc. We are entering a new digital era in financial markets. As we saw with the development of the internet, we cannot put the technology genie back in the bottle. Virtual currencies are a paradigm shift in how we think about payments, traditional financial processes, and engaging in economic activity. Ignoring these developments will not make them go away, nor is it a responsible regulatory response. The evolution of these assets, their volatility, and the interest they attract from rising global millennial population demands serious examination. With the proper balance of sound policy, regulatory oversight, and private sector innovation, new technologies will allow American markets to evolve in responsible ways and continue to grow our economy and increase prosperity. The hearing is an important part of finding that balance. So, kind of in summary, some people are calling this really bullish, and there are some positive things we can take out of here, right? Other people are saying that it reads as if every coin is a security. Now, if you notice here, they do talk kind of positive about Bitcoin. They do essentially admit that cryptocurrency is here to stay. You can't put it back in the bottle. I realize that they can regulate exchanges and things like that. At the end of the day, you can't do away with cryptocurrency. So it's here to stay, and I think they realize that. One thing I've been hearing is that potentially all the cryptocurrency exchanges are improperly registered. All of them are registered as money transmitters, which would basically be like a currency exchange, a Western Union. Some people are speculating that every cryptocurrency exchange, Coinbase, whatever else, I'm not sure what type of registration like a Scottrade or a Vanguard or a Schwab have, but a lot of people are saying they may need to kind of change the type of registration or the type of business registration or licensing they have to be more of an investment marketplace than just a money transmitter. But again, some people are saying that this essentially means every coin is a security. Other people are saying that this is really bullish. Here's my thoughts on the whole thing. Short of banning exchanges or banning cryptocurrency, any news is going to be positive news. The reason for that is because investors hate uncertainty. Not only retail investors like you and I, but especially institutional investors and investors with big money. Nothing is, bad news is better than not knowing anything. Bad news is better than uncertainty. If we look at the China ban situation, shortly after Charlie Lee tweeted about China banning cryptos, and shortly after the rumor mill started, finally China came out and said, look, cryptocurrency itself isn't banned, but we're banning exchanges. Now people, find ways to get around that. They use VPNs and everything else. But at the end of the day, even though that was bad news for China, the markets recovered, and the markets recovered quickly as soon as we at least knew what was going on. So even though it was bad news, because we had some news as opposed to pure uncertainty, markets recovered. So I think this is, whatever meetings are going down today are going to be a good thing. On Valentine's Day, when the rest of the testimony and or meeting happens, again, short of banning exchanges or banning crypto entirely, I think it can only be good news. Current event number 3. So we've all been hearing about how credit cards are starting to block cryptocurrency purchases, right? First it was Capital One, then it was Chase and Bank of America. I've heard pretty much all of the UK's credit cards issued by, Lloyd's or Bank of London, whatever else. They are also not allowing cryptocurrency to be purchased. But here's one positive way of looking at it, guys. Guess what you can buy with credit cards? You can buy fake items in video games, right? Like you can buy I don't play Minecraft, but I know you can buy some kind of like Minecraft garbage. You can buy weird outfits and hats and stuff in video games. And that's because those things aren't currencies, right? They're digital items, but like stupid little digital items can be purchased with cryptocurrency. Guess what can't be purchased with cryptocurrency? Stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, securities. You're not able to go buy some Sprint stock with your credit card on Scottrade. You're not able to go buy, the SPY ETF on E-Trade. You're not able to use your credit card to buy a Vanguard Life Strategy fund on Charles Schwab. I personally think that this signals we're actually being taken seriously as a real investment vehicle, right? If you can buy cryptocurrency with credit cards, it's kind of more like, oh yeah, here's this little fake money you can buy. I feel like it's starting to be treated like a true investment class, like a true investment asset. And look at the SEC and CFTC are meeting with Congress today to discuss cryptocurrencies and the cryptocurrency markets. Cryptocurrency as a whole has evolved from back in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, from being like this fake digital internet gold to actually being like a real asset class, a real store of value, a real quote unquote currency. So I actually think this is kind of a positive thing. You can't buy real investments with credit cards. Well, you can't buy cryptocurrency with a credit card either. So no, nothing, to me, this isn't real big news. It's not really FUD. Sure, people buying on credit card, though it's irresponsible and costly and kind of stupid to do. Sure, people buying with credit cards adds some volume to the markets, and that's a good thing. So in some ways, yeah, it's going to hurt the markets a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really terrible news. Another piece of exciting news. So if you look here, this is the back end of my Bittrex account. I'm not verified, but probably about 3 weeks ago, I started seeing this tab here that says fiat trading. And I was like, well, that's weird. Bittrex doesn't offer fiat trading. And at my Bitcoin meetup last week, I went to my second Bitcoin meetup, had an awesome time. I'll make another video talking about that. But I had brought it up to people. I was like, have you guys heard that, Bittrex is going to be either adding USD to the platform or adding, at the very least, USD currency pairs? And everybody was like, no, I hadn't heard anything about it. I've seen this mentioned on Reddit a few times. No, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information out about it. But I did see an article where the CEO of Bittrex has confirmed that the Seattle-based company Bittrex confirms USD deposits are on the way. This means Coinbase has some competition, which is good. I think that may be why we see Segwit finally being rolled out on Coinbase. I think Coinbase, for a long time, has abused their power in the marketplace, right? They kind of knew they had a monopoly so that they could offer shitty customer service. They could not adopt Segwit. They could not roll out new cryptocurrencies. And it really didn't hurt them because nobody had an alternative place to go to. Well, I think Coinbase is getting a little bit worried now that Robinhood is going to be adding Bitcoin and Ethereum to their platform, that Bittrex is going to be adding fiat. I think competition in the marketplace is always good. It's like, how many of you guys only have a choice of Comcast for cable internet? And it kind of sucks, but you don't even have an option for anybody else. Competition gives more choices. Competition makes companies compete over customers in terms of offering lower prices, offering better customer service, better services. And the more exchanges that we see add fiat, I think the better it is for the marketplace. It also kind of decentralizes things in the sense that every single investor out there isn't investing with the same institution. And then another thing that'll be interesting to see, I'm guessing if Bittrex adds USD, I'm guessing they're going to allow you to trade in USD pairs as well. The cool thing about that is it will, not everybody's trading on Bittrex, but it will eliminate the need from a lot of people from using either Tether or, USDT, whatever you want to call it, which, may be on its last legs. Another good thing about this, if you're anything like me, it's very difficult to wrap your head around trading pairs. So I really like trading on GDAX because I can buy Litecoin for $100 and I can sell it for $5 and I know I made, or $105 and I know I made $5. It gets really confusing with Bitcoin because, people have a hard time understanding this and I have a hard time explaining it to people. But if I buy Litecoin at $100 when Bitcoin's at $1,000 and then Bitcoin goes up to $2,000, it can look like on paper that I've made money in dollars on my Litecoin. But in reality, if I were to sell back to Bitcoin, if Litecoin hasn't kept pace with Bitcoin, potentially, even though I'm making dollars, I'm actually losing Bitcoin. So maybe I bought that Litecoin for 1 Bitcoin, but when I go to trade, I only get 0.8 Bitcoins. Well, that's fine if Bitcoin is up because I've still made dollars. But if I don't cash out and Bitcoin goes back from $2,000 to $1,000, well, now I have 0.8 Bitcoin instead of 1 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's worth less. So I think a lot of people who think they're making money actually aren't making money because they don't understand the concept of trading in pairs. And also, I just think trading in against the dollar is, in people's head, it just makes a lot more sense. And then also, if you're able to trade in fiat, you don't have to worry about Bitcoin tanking and dragging down all your altcoin gains. So I think this is huge news and very positive. And then lastly, the Lightning Network seems to be kind of making its way into the marketplace. It seems to be more of a real thing. I think a lot of people have been frustrated with Bitcoin for a long time that the core developers aren't really taking the slow transactions and expensive fees as seriously. I know nothing about development or developing cryptocurrencies and things like that, so I really can't criticize them. From what I've heard, pretty much no coin has a solution to scaling any better than Bitcoin. Pretty much every single coin out there, from what I understand, if they were to have to handle the volume that Bitcoin handles, every one of them would be bogged down. And I've heard that's kind of why Bitcoin hasn't been making as much progress, is because nobody out there really has a solution. So Lightning Network, there have actually been 0 transaction fees happening in real life, not just on a test network. I believe sometime in December, a guy actually paid his phone bill with 0 fees through Bitcoin. More Lightning nodes are popping up each day, and the Lightning Network is starting to make more sense. I think people are starting to understand it better. I'm not a real tech guy, so this is really hard for me to wrap my head around, and it's really hard to explain. But essentially, the way it's been explained to me is you have the Bitcoin network, and then the Lightning Network is kind of a side chain. Now, that's somewhat unattractive to me in the sense that I would like everything to happen on one platform in one place. But apparently, like, side chains are just something that's a necessity for cryptocurrencies once the markets get large enough. So essentially what it is, it's an off-chain, it's kind of an off-chain chain, and transactions go through between people, and it's almost more like an IOU system. However, the actual Bitcoin blockchain is what will settle any arguments or any disputes. So if me and somebody want to transact business over here on the Lightning Network, we can open a payment channel. And that's something that's been a little bit fuzzy too. Initially, people said you'd have to open up a payment channel with everyone you want to do business with. So if I buy my coffee at Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, I have to have a payment channel with Dunkin' Donuts. And it's almost like I open up a gift card with them and I spend until it's done, and then we close out the chain and everything goes back and settles on the real chain. Well, from what, and that didn't sound too attractive to me, right? Like, everybody I want to do business with, I have to open up a Lightning Network channel with. And when you open up a Lightning Network channel, it costs a fee, and there is a real on the Bitcoin network transaction going down. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to pay a fee to open this channel and then another fee to close this channel. So how is that really attractive? But something that's been explained to me, and it's hard for me to explain, but basically we've all heard the whole Kevin Bacon thing, 7 degrees of separation, where if you go down the line within 7 people, you can find a connection between yourself and Kevin Bacon. Like, okay, my babysitter's aunt's dad went to college with Kevin Bacon, or my girlfriend's brother's aunt's nephew used to babysit Kevin Bacon, you know what I mean, that type of thing. So I've heard that that's kind of how the Lightning Network is going to work. I don't necessarily have to have an open channel with every person I do business with, that you'll be able to kind of bounce around between existing channels. And with that whole 7 degrees of separation theory in mind, you can probably transact on the Lightning Network with almost anybody without having to open up a payment channel directly with that person. Lightning Network is a hard thing to wrap our heads around, and I know it can probably seem like, I'm kind of a noob. Like, I don't even know if I'll be able to figure out how to use this Lightning Network. That's what the developers are there for. That's what software and technology is there for. It's meant to make things simple, to make things that our brains have a hard time understanding, to simplify those things. So hopefully this Lightning Network will somehow be interwoven into existing Bitcoin wallets to where you can actually do a transaction the same way you do now, and you're not having to know about any of this stuff going on in the background, the same way as when you open up a web page and go to Google or go to Yahoo or, go to YouTube. You don't know, how the internet's being relayed between your house and Google. All you know is that all I got to do is type in YouTube and it's going to take me to YouTube. Well, same thing with the Lightning Network. If you know how to send a transaction on Bitcoin, the wallets and the network are going to take care of all the Lightning Network stuff. You just know that you're going to be seeing faster transactions and lower fees. So I think this is promising as well. That is the end, my friends. Please like, please comment, and please subscribe. During these kind of down times, during all this uncertainty, during, when it feels like we're getting hit with negative news every day, I just wanted to kind of bring to your guys' attention all the positive things going on in the cryptocurrency space. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button below. And I'd like to hear what you guys think about this news. What do you think about the BitTracks thing? Is there anything I left out? Do you have any other positive news you'd like to add? Drop it in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.